Today's games are brought to you by AE Engine Media Marketing, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Bullseye CMYK, Cliff Kid, Expand a Brand, Front Rush, Fusionetics, Dick's Sporting Goods. Today's games are also brought to you by Major League Soccer, Nestle Nesquik, Nike, NSCAA, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, U.S. Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama. Today's games are brought to you by AE Engine Media Marketing, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Bullseye CMYK, Cliff Kid, Expand a Brand, Front Rush, Fusionetics, Dick's Sporting Goods. Today's games are also brought to you by Major League Soccer, Nestle Nesquik, Nike, NSCAA, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, U.S. Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama.
The road starts here. The road paved by pain, sacrifice, and struggle. The road paved by passion and pursuit. The road where dreams come true. On this road, many will fail, and on this road, many dreams will fade. But as for you, what will be your fate? When there are seconds left and you are running on fumes, will you be satisfied with almost? Or will you dig down into the dirt, take one more step and make one more play, knowing that good enough isn't good enough, and all the blood, sweat, and tears have brought you to this moment, the moment where pain turns to greatness. On this road, nothing is given, everything is taken. On this road, winners will rise to the top. Heroes will be made. And on this road, champions will be crowned.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. Maguire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. Maguire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim Maguire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, that was the highlight of my soccer career, to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups, that kind of emulate the Maguire Cup.
Winning the Maguire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period, that's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied Maguire Cup?
And a pleasant good morning to you from the Toyota Soccer Center. This is the championship match between two incredible teams in the USYS Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas. I'm Michael Westbrook. Thank you for being with us on an early Sunday morning, just a couple of minutes after 7 o'clock Central Time here in Frisco, and we are underway under what's going to be good conditions for an early morning matchup. Starting the day at 77 degrees, we'll have a little bit more on the weather for you here coming up in just a little while. West Coast Haney playing in the championship against Challenger Crew. West Coast out of California, Challenger Crew from Ohio. And, man, get back and get ready for this one. It's going to be a fun one. In the navy blue is West Coast. We've seen them on this field several times. Meanwhile, in the gold uniforms, Challenger Crew, as West Coast will go right to left in the opening first 45 minutes of action. Challenger Crew will head left to right. Challenger Crew in that kind of old gold style uniforms. Thanks for being with us for the 1920 Boys Division Championship contest here on Sunday. The road to Texas has just about come to an end. One of these teams will be crowned a champion in just a little while. Yesterday we had a couple of overtime contests on this field, and one of them was West Coast Haney, and we're very impressed with what they were able to do in their matchup yesterday over a really good Chicago Fire team out of Illinois. West Coast able to get a 1-0 victory, scoring a goal in the 106th minute of play. It was as if nobody was ever going to score. It really felt like we were going to be headed to penalty kicks in that one for West Coast and Chicago Fire, but as it turned out, a goal in the 106th minute ended up putting it away for West Coast. And again, it was just a fun environment, an awesome match yesterday here on the RAV4 field. So again, we're getting settled in, getting underway. The rest of those weather conditions, again, starting the day at 77 degrees. Got one into the box that time, and Challenger Crew will try to clear it out. Can't do so on the first attempt, and now they are able to do that. The heat index has it at about 79 right now, so that's not too bad. And we've got an east-southeast wind of 9 miles per hour. We thought perhaps there'd be a chance of rain yesterday. That didn't really happen. No chance of rain today. A high of 92, but we'll probably be at about 83, 84 by the time this one comes to an end. So it's going to be a match in the high 70s, low 80s, and should be just perfect conditions, really, in the early morning hours here. Unlike what we saw the last several days, hitting triple digits, some areas 105 or so here in the Frisco area, but again, 77 right now. Challenger Crew getting it on their attacking end for really the first opportunity. Throw in is worked inside to Brennan, and he'll fire, miss left. Chris Brennan with the first opportunity for the Challenger Crew. Goalkeeper wearing the 00, Jacob Huber. Yesterday it was Jared Andrews. Sometimes players end up switching jersey numbers, but I believe it is Huber this time in goal. Talked about the wind a lot throughout this one. About 8:30, we're going to have that east-southeast wind up in double digits, 11, 12 miles per hour. That could play a factor in the second half, or maybe later beyond that, maybe even for our next match. Here on this field later today, we'll also have the 15U Boys Championship contest. Well, we saw quite a bit of excitement here on Field 4 yesterday as our 17U semifinals game went into penalty kicks. Trying to work the ball back to Brennan, couldn't get it to him. Good defense by West Coast. Still controlled by Challenger Crew for the moment. Crossfield pass to Pataka. Strauss across the middle, works it left side. Good possession here going for the Challenger Crew, and they work it up the left side there where the back line, Jonathan Stoop, is able to get in the mix of that and stop the threat from the Challenger Crew that time. Still settling in here in Frisco. 6 minutes of action, no score between West Coast Haney, Challenger Crew. 1920 U Boys Championship contest. The Maguire Cup on the line here in this one. The 1920 division has been played since 1935, except for a couple of World War II years, as West Coast is going to fire that one up over the top and off to the left side. Ordaz will track it down and boot it back the other way. A header misses. Ordaz with a good pass. West Coast first real look there. Goes wide left, and so goalkeeper will go track that one down here in the 7th minute of action. The header from Benjamin Martin a moment ago. Well, the goalkeeper falling down as he boots that one away. When I arrived here earlier today, they had sprinklers going back behind this field, and the wind was blowing out of the south, and a lot of that water was heading onto that end of the field, and so could be a little bit slippery down at that end as Vincent Warner controls back near the midway line. He'll work it left side, taken away. Good steal in the middle by Ospina. Looks up the field left side, trying to get it to his teammate, and we've got a foul there. Torres tripped up. Referee wasn't ready to go just yet. He'll whistle the ball back. And so Ospina has got to reset here. Well, we think it's early here in Frisco, about 5 o'clock out in California, and a little bit after 8 o'clock in Ohio. So thanks for being with us wherever you might be. Into the box. Who's going to come out and clear it? Nobody right now. Finally, Challenger looks like they will. Nope. West Coast takes it right back. That one a little too far out in front, but Catalan over on the far side had a little bit of an opportunity. Finally, a clear out from the center back that time. And punched out by Challenger, keeping the ball with West Coast. Throw in from Ordaz. Well, it's worth mentioning early on, probably will be mentioned again as well. These two teams played each other in the very first preliminary contest on Tuesday. Seems like quite a while ago now, after they played 3 straight days with an off day on Friday. Semifinals yesterday. And Challenger Crew just absolutely dominated that contest, 5-0. But since then, West Coast able to get their feet solidly on the ground and get enough points to make it into the semifinals, again, where they had the 1-0 win yesterday. Challenger Crew, meanwhile, won 2-1 against FC United out of Illinois. A 79th minute penalty kick goal made the difference in that one to send Challenger Crew onto the championship match. Nine goals scored for Challenger Crew. Only 5 goals scored for West Coast, but they have been more of a defensive-minded team. And again, if you take out that first 5-0 loss, or depending on how you look at it, a 5-0 win for Challenger Crew, well, then it's just about even as far as goals scored, goals allowed. Free kick coming for West Coast. Near the boundary on the left side. 11th minute of action. Low lining kick. Up into the air, and the header puts it back outside the box. However, West Coast finds a way to pick it back up and then punched free. Stoop winds it up off of the goalkeeper, and he is able to come up with it. Just do not have the angle to see the goalkeeper's jersey number, if in fact he even has one, and you usually have to wait till the second half to try to get that, but see if I can maybe get it before then for you. West Coast in possession as Ospina knocks down a Challenger player, and Challenger Crew comes away with it up the field left side, and it's going to go one-on-one. We'll need some help down the middle perhaps. Instead, he keeps it himself and just misses his teammate. However, might have a follow coming. Kicked away by the goalkeeper, Hubert. Patrick Strauss down there for Challenger Crew. In the early rounds, this Toyota Soccer Center just flooded with competition all over these fields, and when a soccer ball would be lost, you'd oftentimes have somebody pick it up for you, a fan or maybe somebody from the other field, but it's a little bit quiet, a little bit more empty here this morning. Hayden Parente will have the corner kick from the near side, just off to our right. Referee talking with one of the West Coast players in goal there, near the right post. 13th minute of play in the first half, no score. Challenger Crew looking to get something going from the corner as they work it too far past the left post that time. A couple of headers, it's still free. An attempt there by Thomas Picata. It is still with Challenger Crew. Try another header, how about 2 of them? No, knocked away by the goalkeeper, then saved by a backline defender that time for West Coast. Couple of chances for Challenger Crew, and they are still fighting for possession. Booted high into the sky by Stoop and out of play. Strong throw in, header by West Coast. Rosas able to get a hold of it. Ball worked upfield near the midway line where Challenger Crew, the team out of Ohio, will take over here. Look to work it to the right side. To Wrighton. West Coast losing that opener 5-0, as we said, to Challenger Crew. Then it was a 3-0 win over OP Green out of Ohio. A 1-1 tie to Penn Fusion. That was another good one right here on Field 4 against the team out of Pennsylvania. I would think if you're West Coast, you're pretty happy to be back here on Field 4 for the championship, because they've scored some late-minute goals right here on this field. They had to have a tie or a win over Penn Fusion in order to even make it to the semifinals. And they were trailing 1-0. Penn Fusion was 1 point behind them in the standings. Looked as if that might be the team to advance on, but a late goal allowed them to tie and keep that 1 point advantage. See what Challenger Crew decides to do with this one. They are just next to the team bench. The team benches across the way. Ball sent into the box here in the 16th minute of play. Goalkeeper comes way up, and that one goes wide or right off the foot of Picata, but I believe deflected, and a corner kick is upcoming. Hayden Parente will have the kick here for Challenger Crew. Parente keeps it low, blasted back near the midfield line, picked up by Challenger Crew to Wrighton, and let's see who that one's going to be off of. We're still waiting. All right, now we've got the call, and we'll go to West Coast. So both of these teams out of Group B play. Eliminating Chicago Fire, eliminating FC United from Group A. Chicago Fire totaled the most points in the preliminary round, 7. They went 2-0-1. I remember mentioning on that first day, after the first day, that this Group B play looked as if it was probably going to be pretty close. And as it turned out, it really was. Challenger Crew had 5 points. West Coast had 4. Penn Fusion with 3, and even OP Green registered 2 points. So it was stiff competition there in Group B play of the 1920U Boys Division. Kind of hard to call these guys boys, right? Should probably be men. Although it is a youth event. Good stick there to poke that one free. I believe that was Stoop. It was. Challenger Crew comes away with it. A little bit difficult to see those numbers on the Challenger Crew uniforms. The old gold uniforms, white numbers. High attempt off the top of the crossbar. Oh my, that one was close right there. Good battle right outside the box. Controlled by Challenger Crew, Zach Bruscher, and a good stop that time. Oh, wow, the goalkeeper made the stop and then threw the ball over to the other field. If the referees didn't see it, okay, I guess they did at least see it. They're talking to him. Interesting move there. I mean, he was bowling for a perfect game is what it looked like. He chunked that thing the other direction. Parente will have the corner kick again. Works it to the back post. Too strong. No one could get a head or foot on it as Doldner was the closest one there. So meanwhile for Challenger Crew, of course, 5-0 win over West Coast, as we said. They tied Penn Fusion. No score in that one, in fact. That effort from Picata misses. It was offline from the get-go. Then they also tied OP Green. Both sides able to score a couple of goals in that one before the 2-1 win over FC United. Again, you take out that first game, they've scored 4 goals since then. 9 goals total for the tournament. Of course, I always say it's funny when people say, well, if you take out that one game. Well, you can't. If you took out that one game, they wouldn't be where they're at now. So that's why the stats add up. A win is a win, and they had that the first time around against West Coast. In fact, that win allowed them to be in first place in that Group B play. '21st minute of action here as the James P. Maguire Cup is on the line between West Coast Haney and Challenger Crew. No score in this one. Again, this event played annually since 1935, except during a couple of World War II years. The Cup was renamed in 1975 after the United States Soccer Federation president. A little bit of a collision there, and Picata falls down. There is no whistle. Play continues on. Ordaz stumbles near midfield. Looked as if Bruscher pushed him. Foul is called against Challenger Crew, and so it's going to be a free kick upcoming here from West Coast, just inside the midway line. Ospina fires it in. Intended across the middle for Ordaz, taken away. Challenger Crew looks to punch it up the field and still able to hold on to it is Brennan. And then knocked away by Brett Haney. He was trying to get the referee's attention to say that it was deflected off of Challenger Crew. Referee did not agree, however. In case you're wondering a little bit more on Maguire, he played for the Brooklyn Wanderers in 1929. Good knock away from Brett Haney. Clears that one out over the team benches and well out of play. He was also able to serve on World Cup and other FIFA committees. Here at the Toyota Soccer Center, we're just off of World Cup Way. Off to our left is the FC Dallas facility, the Toyota Stadium. It's a shame they couldn't have opened that place up on Friday and given teams a tour of the place. There's quite a bit of construction going on around this area. In fact, as I was driving in this morning, I was trying to see if maybe some of it was to the stadium, or at least right around the stadium. Got a player down for the moment for West Coast. Benjamin Martin back up now. Martin will be subbed out. 24th minute of action here, first half. Yafet Sanchez is entering the contest for West Coast. He was the hero yesterday with a bicycle kick goal. Foul gives it back to West Coast. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just see a player's name and you think, I'm going to need to know how to say this one. And we've tried to get them right when we can. You know, sometimes you don't really get the information until right before the start of a match. And Yafet Sanchez was one that yesterday morning I said, I need to make sure I say this right. I don't know why. And sure enough, he ended up having the game-winning goal yesterday. Referee not happy with the spotting of the ball. Well, sometimes things happen where you wonder what age division we're watching. The referee just said it has to be in the same spot. You think we'd know that by now, but trying to get every advantage they can, right? Sometimes it's the simple things. Strong kick down the left side. Header by Challenger Crew, and the team in gold controls here, left to right. Punched forward into the box, nobody there. Vincent Warner was the intended target, but he stopped on the play there. Probably would have been offsides had he gone after it. Speaking of the different age divisions, the 13U and 14U Boys and Girls Championships were last night, so we've already crowned 4 champions here, and tell you a little bit more about that in a little while. But 2 matches here today on this field. Coming up after this will be the Tuzos Academy against Solar Chelsea in the 15U boys, in case you're interested in that one. Crossfield pass over to Picata. Or Pataka. Pataka towards the middle. Knocked away. Ordaz back to midfield. Put down back on the ground by Haas. Haas has it taken away. Sanchez. Sanchez yet to pass. Now works it right side. And I believe that was Torres. Back to Sanchez. Couldn't come up with it. Madden double teamed. Challenger Crew knocking it away. Ball loose. Challenger Crew comes up with it here in the 27th minute, about to hit the 28th minute of play. In our first half, still no score. Ball down the left side. Decent footwork. That one punched inside, stopped just off the left post. Huber with the grab. And that opening preliminary matchup, the 5-0 win for Challenger Crew. They scored 3 first-half goals, added 2 more in the second half. Much differently played game here so far through the first 27 minutes in this one. Good step up there from Rosas to take that one away. Sanchez works it to Acosta left side. Acosta has the double, splits through him. Footwork around another man, and that one's punched out, deflected off of Challenger Crew. A corner kick coming for West Coast. Substitution coming for Challenger Crew. Our referee over on the sideline has the big board that indicates the player number of who's coming in, and I don't know if it was during this matchup yesterday with West Coast, but at one point I mentioned I wasn't sure what he was doing, if he was showing us the time, because it was just blank. So I had assumed it was probably for the player number, but I wasn't quite able to see it, and I don't think he realized it wasn't working. Today it is working, so you get the number of the player coming in on the big board as they enter. Other than that, we really don't have any other indications. No big scoreboard out here. Be difficult to put that on each of the fields. Field's starting to see a little bit of wear and tear now as we've played 5 days in late July, nonetheless, with all the heat, but still in good shape. Definitely a little bit different looking than it was on Tuesday. Attempt to work that one through the middle, but Stoop was there. That one's out. Challenger Crew controls. Crew will work it back across the midway line now. Pataka finds Brennan. Brennan was the early threat in this match. And Brennan has that one knocked away. Brennan wants a handball. Boy, have you ever seen Space Jam where they decide to dig up the hole whenever Michael Jordan disappears? We have a huge hole out on the field that reminds me of that. The intensity beginning to pick up here. The crowd rumbling a bit. Thought that perhaps the referee missed a handball a moment ago. Then we just had a collision that with an infraction against Challenger Crew. That's probably considered an outdated reference now, Space Jam. It's been out for about 20 years. Back to the goalkeeper. 32nd minute of action now. If you had to analyze the action so far in this one, I think you could pretty just much say it's been up and down, back and forth. A foul and a yellow card issued to West Coast. Well, we could hear the grumblings from the sidelines. Challenger Crew feeling as if some calls were going against them, and now a yellow card here in the 32nd minute issued to West Coast Haney. It was against Yaphet Sanchez. Pataka will hurry back and throw it in and misplayed the ball. Well, he just lost it. Well, it looked like he threw it into the field of play, so. Couple of subs here for West Coast. Brennan receives the throw in back. Cross into the box. Header the other way by West Coast. What a great header that was, all the way out in front to Sanchez. Sanchez too far out in front. Lynn, can he come up with it? He does. Lynn back the other way. Good knockdown. Now Madden into the corner. Madden tries to wind up a big one-timer. Knocked out by a Challenger Crew. A throw in for West Coast. 34th minute of play. Challenger Crew trying to make something happen. Sliding tackle Sanchez puts the ball back with West Coast. Again, I was saying about the pace of play in this one. It's been up and down. It's been back and forth a bit. Got a south-southeast wind that hasn't really played much of a factor yet. Saw several matches on this field where teams were not timid necessarily, but slow developing offenses where they would keep the ball back behind the midway line for significant periods of time and then not get very many opportunities, limiting the possessions of both sides. But that doesn't seem to be the case in this. More offensive minded but the defense has held up really well in the first 35 minutes. Subs for Challenger Crew. Pataka just outside the box finds his teammate momentarily. Been impressed with Sanchez, what he's been able to do. Ball worked up to Fuerte, taken away. Got a knockdown of a Challenger Crew player, and now some pushing and shoving going on between the two of them. As two of the referees come in to separate those two. And they get play going again. Challenger Crew will have the kick. Hayden Parente was the one who had the game winner, also had the first goal for Challenger Crew in their contest yesterday. And that 79th minute penalty kick proved to be the game winner, 2-1 over FC United. I think we have everybody ready to go now. Strong delivery into the box. Huber, the goalkeeper for West Coast, reels it in. No real threat there. Chris Brennan had the assist for the Ohio North team in the opening goal on Saturday, which he leads the age group with 4 goals, does Parente. Two wins and 2 draws for Challenger Crew, so trying to remain undefeated. Have about 7 minutes to go here in this first half. No score. Really, each side's only had maybe 2, 3 good looks. Not just a whole lot of opportunities despite the game being played up and down the field. Now West Coast taking a little bit different approach. Stoop works it over to the right side for West Coast. Header by Challenger Crew gives them the ball back. An infraction against West Coast, a tripping call there, and so Challenger Crew with the free kick. They keep the play going pretty quickly. Zachary Hubbard looking for the ball up the right side. They can't get it to him. Instead, Pataka has to work it back to the midfield and redirect. I got a hold there and a big foul. And, okay, that's on Fuerte. David Fuerte has issued the yellow card, 39th minute of play. That was interesting because Sanchez was also over in that area, and he's already gotten a yellow card back in the 25th minute. And got the call right. It was against Fuerte, but had it gone on Sanchez, would have been a lot of trouble. Would have been his second yellow. Ohio player smiling and laughing right now. And the West Coast player doing a little bit of trash talking perhaps. So Good knockdown by Daniel Lind there, but he's issued a yellow card. Did he jump early? Well, I'm not sure about that one. Missing the left of the goal that time. Wow. We're down to about 4 minutes left in the first half. I guess if you're West Coast, you're just waiting for the last minute or two of the game before you put your goal in. That's what we've seen them do the last 2 times. The goal yesterday was in the 106th minute. That was the first minute of the second half of overtime. Second half of overtime, second overtime, however you want to word that exactly, but they played 2 15-minute halves. See who ends up coming down with that one. Bula Scaladima for West Coast has just entered the contest. He kind of provides a spark of offense, or a spark of energy for his team. Long pass up the left side. Good knockaway that time by Catalan. Strong kick up ahead, nobody there. That's going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Waste no time firing it out to the right side. Pataka. Nobody stepping up to pick him up, so dish over to Parente. Challenger crew works it down to Turretian, and West Coast comes away with it. We got a tripping call near midfield and a yellow issued. Goodness. Pataka issued the yellow, 44th minute of play. Apologize to Will Turrighton, number 23 for Challenger. I think I'm getting that last name right. That's a tough one. Get the double R, the double T, a couple of I's mixed in all there together. Our clock showing the 44th minute of the first half. About a minute and 15, 20 seconds to go, perhaps. Now Challenger crew looks to push the issue a bit. A sprint across midfield in possession. Up the right side and a knock away that time. Rosas. Parente with a slow walk over to the ball here. Parente asking for a little more help. He had 2 players standing at midfield. Parente, high boot. This is a pretty good one, but a too far, a little bit outside of the post area, and a header away for West Coast. Galadima pulls it down with a chest. Finds Lind. Goalie comes all the way out. This gets a bit dangerous here. And now a whistle. Player down for Challenger Crew. Another yellow card issued to Daniel Lind, and so that's his second. Or did they just go ahead and give the, yeah. Wow. Lind is going to have to exit. That's a big blow there for West Coast. We've had 5 yellow cards issued here in this first half. Just about to close out the first half here. Still no score as that cross-field pass goes a little bit too far and out of play, and he gives it right back to West Coast. So Daniel Lind out of the game. Will not be able to return. It felt like at about the 30-minute mark, fans began to grumble a bit. Referees maybe felt like they were losing a little bit of control and all of a sudden started to throw out all the yellows. Deep kick by Alfonso Orsono. That brings us to the end of the first half. So, neither side able to find the back of the net in the first 45. We are tied, no score. West Coast Haney and Challenger Crew. We'll take about a 10-minute break here. And when we come back, we'll have the second half of the championship with the Paul Maguire Cup on the line. This is the USYS Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas.
Today's games are brought to you by AE Engine Media Marketing, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Bullseye CMYK, Cliff Kid, Expand-A-Brand, Front Rush, Fusionetics, Dick's Sporting Goods. Today's games are also brought to you by Major League Soccer, Nesquik, Nike, NSCAA, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, US Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama.
The road starts here. The road paved by pain, sacrifice, and struggle. The road paved by passion and pursuit. The road where dreams come true. On this road, many will fail, and on this road, many dreams will fade. But as for you, what will be your fate? When there are seconds left and you are running on fumes, will you be satisfied with almost? Or will you dig down into the dirt, take one more step and make one more play, knowing that good enough isn't good enough, and all the blood, sweat, and tears have brought you to this moment, the moment where pain turns to greatness. On this road, nothing is given, everything is taken. On this road, winners will rise to the top. Heroes will be made. And on this road, champions will be crowned.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935. Offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. Maguire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. Maguire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim Maguire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, this was the highlight of my soccer career to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups that kind of emulate the Maguire Cup.
Winning the Maguire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period. That's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied Maguire Cup?
Welcome back to the start of the second half from the Toyota Soccer Center at the USYS Soccer National Championships in Frisco, Texas. This is our 1920 U Boys Division Championship contest. No score after one half of play between West Coast Haney out of California in the navy blue uniforms. They are going left to right in this second half. We're going to have another yellow card issued early on here, and that may result in a red for Sanchez. We're waiting for him to get up. Yellow card issued to Sanchez, and that's his second. So Daniel Lind is out. Yafet Sanchez is out, and those have been two of the main players for this West Coast team. The second yellow card to Daniel Lind was issued in the 44th minute, 1 minute before the close of the first half. And now Sanchez, here in the first minute of the second half, is issued his second yellow. David Fuerte also has a yellow card. He'll have to be careful for West Coast. And meanwhile, for Challenger Crew, Thomas Pataka also received a yellow. So Challenger Crew out of Ohio, again going right to left here in the second half in the old gold colored uniforms. A little delay to get play going again. Well, big turn of events here for the West Coast team. They'll have to play two men down. Two very important keys to the team. A couple of ways at looking at this here. You're in the championship of the oldest age division, the longest running championship here in the USYS Soccer, and so you should have some players who can adjust to the calls that are being made. The other thing is you have a referee crew who wants to do the best job that they can possibly do in a championship. They've definitely been involved in this one. They may be looking to try to get to the next level or make sure they can be awarded a spot next year. It's a big deal to be one of the referees selected for this event. And so they have to play the game as well. They've got to make the calls when they see them. It was a little bit chippy early, some words being exchanged between the two sides, even some pushing and shoving. So the referee's trying to make sure they have control of this one. Don't want it to get out of hand. Only one player on this Challenger Crew team listed at a college, Chris Brennan at Bowling Green State University. It may mean one of two things, that you got some players that are a little bit younger, maybe heading on to college pretty soon, or they may not have listed those. We might not have all the information available to us. Kind of wondered if perhaps Challenger Crew might try to take advantage of the momentum they have right now after the yellow card and a red card was issued to the player for West Coast, but it appears Challenger is continue to kind of play their style. They're slowing it down a bit. Nicholas Reipel, midfield. Reipel dishes to Wrighton, and they work it over to the far side. Back to Bruscher. Deep down in the corner for this Challenger team. As they try to punch it into the box, it was knocked away. Meanwhile, on the other side, several college programs listed. Jacob Huber in goal today is at California State University San Bernardino. Challenger Crew looking to get something going. That ball will be unplayable that time for the team out of Ohio as it trickles out of bounds. California schools well represented by the Region 4 champion team West Coast. Challenger Crew out of Region 2. East Coast is Region 1. Kind of that north central Midwest kind of area, Region 2. Then you get into the Arizona teams, and up along the mountains, your Region 3, and then out on the West Coast is Region 4. Basically just like the time zones work. Challenger Crew losing that one out. West Coast takes it. .52 minute of play now. Challenger Crew juniors with it again. Along the left edge, back towards the middle. Played by Reipel. Reipel is given some space to work. Sends it left and not able to hold on to the pass. I think that is Libertowski, Justin Libertowski, number 1. He's able to regain the possession, however. And the ball worked over to the far side. Patrick Strauss He doesn't have it for long. An attempt to fire it in off the back of the West Coast team. Eventually out of play off of Challenger Crew, so West Coast will have a throw in coming. Zach Bruscher, a moment ago, charging forward, was trying to act like basically a cornerback and get a steal across the middle like you might see, but the man throwing it in for West Coast realized it and held up for a second. Challenger Crew state champs in 2010, 11, 14, 15, and 16. Regional champs in 2016. Good passing here from Challenger Crew. It's going to roll, however, right to the goalkeeper. Huber in goal makes the stop. Challenger Crew team was a regional finalist, or regional finals in 2014. This year in the National League Blue, finished second place, 4-1-2 there, Mark. Challenger Crew has done a good job to keep the ball in their attacking end here in this second half. That one ricochets off of Galadima for West Coast and finally punched back out. Reipel has it. Actually, Reipel with it now. Up top, Haas, Adam Haas, wearing number 9. Bit of a mispass there from Challenger Crew. We'll give it right back to West Coast. I have a number 6 out there for Challenger Crew. We do not have a jersey number for him. If anybody listening wants to text, call somebody who they know may be here, we'd love to get that information for you and make sure we get his name mentioned. We have had a lot of assistance and help from the parents along the way to make sure the players' names are pronounced properly, make sure they have the right jersey number as what we have on our rosters. But unfortunately, this is my first time seeing the Challenger Crew and didn't have an opportunity to reach out to any of the parents beforehand. And so, again, we're missing number 6 on our roster from Challenger Crew. If you're listening out there, you know who that is. We'd like to get that information to somebody here. They can come over to our red tent and provide that information to us. The 56th minute of action. No score, Challenger Crew, West Coast Haney. This is the championship contest. James P. Maguire Cup on the line. In addition to that, Challenger Crew trying to remain undefeated. Big collision and a trip up. The foul is called against West Coast, and it will leave a Challenger Crew in a good position here. Still waiting to see where they're going to put the soccer ball down. We had a sub for Challenger Crew, so that's the reason for the delay here. All right, the penalty kick. Goal goes in, and on the board is Challenger Crew. Chris Brennan knocks it home in the 57th minute of play. Chris Brennan puts Challenger Crew on the scoreboard. This West Coast team has had several comebacks already. Challenger Crew defeated this team earlier 5-0, and this has been a much differently played contest, but Challenger Crew is the first to score. West Coast, I believe, has not allowed a second half goal since that first contest. Challenger Crew scored 2 in the second half. Well, we know we have some viewers out there. Thank you very much to Challenger Crew getting us the information. Now, of course, it's going to be another difficult name for me. Nikki Mazzola, I believe, is what I was told, number 6. So, got the information. Now we're going to have others come over and help us, but I think I got it already. Mazzola? Got it. St. Bonaventure. Got it. Thank you. All right. Opportunity now for West Coast Haney, but it went over the goalposts. I think that was off of Challenger Crew. It was. We got a corner kick coming. And from St. Bonaventure, I love saying that anyway, so that worked out well. Corner kick for Ospina and West Coast. They trail 1-0, 60th minute of play. Ospina, not where he wanted that one to go, I don't think. Tracked down by Catalan. Oh, good header there that time from Zach Bruscher. And the refs wanted a handball again. Did not get the call. Out up in front. Brennan, he'll fire! Brennan puts it in the back of the net again. The momentum has gone all the way to the Ohio side. 60th minute goal. That makes it 2-0, and you're sensing some frustration from the West Coast team. Some of them down on the ground, stretching, doubled over a little bit. Did not quite see who the assist was given to there, but it was a good pass. It was a great play, and Brennan able to knock it home. That makes it 2-0 Challenger Crew with about 30 minutes to play now. The crowd is growing as we have the 15U championship coming up in about 45 minutes, and so those teams are here watching. Mazzola punches it up near the midfield line, but West Coast is there for it. A good pass there a moment ago from Spencer Madden. It'll be wiped out. Had a foul called prior to the kick there. Ospina will kick this one in. Now, I would have caught that a little bit earlier, not having a number 6 on the roster, but I mentioned at the beginning, of course, it's lighter outside now, so that helps, but the gold jersey, the white numbers, a little difficult to see. I think I was getting the 6 and the 8 mixed up most of the time anyways. Challenger fans not worried about that. They just want to know their team's up 2-0. 2 goals from Chris Brennan. Chris Brennan leads the age division in goals. 6 goals now, and that's 3 ahead of Noah Mellick. Yafet Sanchez is the only player for West Coast in the top 10. He's tied with several others with 2 goals apiece. So that means, especially since Sanchez is out of the contest after receiving a red card, Chris Brennan is going to end up being the top goal scorer for the 1920U Boys Division Championship. He's got 6 goals now. Infraction there against West Coast, a tripping call, and Challenger Crew will have it. So it's the second time Challenger Crew has had 2 second-half goals against this West Coast team as they played each other in the opener. Pretty cool to see 2 teams in the championship from the same group, both of them coming out of Group B play. Pretty good stop there that time from Maxwell Hess, wearing number 2, Challenger Crew. West Coast playing 2 men down in addition to Sanchez getting the boot with a red card. Daniel Lind also received a couple of yellows and was sent to the sidelines. One sent into the box there and saved by the goalkeeper that time. Jacob Huber making the stop. Catalan racing forward. Galadima tried to get the pass back to him, and it's stolen away by Challenger Crew. Patrick Strauss, the captain for Challenger Crew, looked like he came up hobbling a bit. Still a slight limp, but looks like he's all right. Might be a bit of a challenge for the Challenger Crew to play keep away for 30 minutes, 25 minutes now, but I think they want to try to stay aggressive. Brennan racing through the middle, sliding tackle, knocks the ball away, and is going to be with Challenger Crew still. Referee making that call, and Kevin Catalan for West Coast not happy with that decision. Reipel works it right side to Wrighton. Kick across the middle, a header from West Coast, controlled by Brennan now. Brennan trying to pass it back out. His teammate didn't see it coming. Ball will roll all the way out, and West Coast has the throw in. Both sides playing a little bit cleaner now. Don't hear as much conversation out there. Haven't seen anybody push anybody lately, so that's a good thing. Strauss works it to midfield for Challenger Crew. They're in the driver's seat right now. They don't really have to rush things. Ball worked up the field left side, Mazzola. He swings it back out. They could stand there at midfield for a while if they want to. Told you at the start of this one it was 77 degrees, and conditions have been quite nice here in the early morning hours of Sunday. Right now we're at 78 degrees, partly cloudy. Anticipated high today, 92. Mazzola works it down, And another open shot and another goal, this time for the Challenger crew to make it 3-0 in the 68th minute of play. I believe that was to Wrighton that time. Nope, it was Parente. Parente with the goal. Hayden Parente with the goal. 3 into the back of the net here in the last 10 minutes. It's definitely opened things up here. During the break, we were watching some of the other games taking place. The 18U Girls Championship got off to an interesting start. TSC Showcase out of Tennessee and Arsenal Colorado Academy out of Colorado. It was 2-1 in that game after 5 minutes. And then the scoring slowed down a bit. Another infraction and a yellow card issued. Did not see who they gave that yellow card to. It was against Challenger crew. Did they just issue another one, or are they trying to straighten out who that was called on? The yellow card went up in the air again. I think the first time he threw the yellow card up, the players were all walking away. It didn't look like he had the players' attention, so I think that's why he put the yellow card up again. Still, though, with such a clutter over there. It's hard to tell who it was on. Now Rosas fell down. The goalkeeper issued a yellow card. Goodness. The goalkeeper wearing that gray top does not have a number on. Alex Dudley and Isaac Soto both listed as the goalkeepers. That's the third, I believe, yellow card against Challenger crew. Meanwhile, 5 against West Coast. Challenger crew punches it up in front to Brennan. Brennan's working one-on-one, and he'll have the ball stolen away from him this time. So Brennan with 2 goals couldn't get past that back line to maybe add another one. We're down to about 20 minutes left in this championship match, where it's 3-0. Challenger crew leads West Coast Haney. They've scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes of action. First one coming on a penalty kick, and that really set them down the right path. 2 more goals after that. There's just some sort of mismatch here between Challenger crew and West Coast, because when they played each other the first time, it was a 5-0 Challenger victory. West Coast had somewhat smooth sailing after that, a couple of late goals to give them some ties and a win. But their defense had really held up against the other teams in the field, but just not the case against this Challenger crew team, which has proven to be pretty prolific on offense. I think when it was 2-0, they were still pressing forward, but now they have really slowed things down, decided to play the ball back near midfield quite a bit. Masola works it inside to his teammate, to Wrighton. Back down underneath now into the box. Scramble for it, and it's going to be taken away by West Coast. Kevin Catalan waited around long enough till he could get a strong boot on it to send it downfield. Galadima's going to have to work about 1-on-3 here, and he's not going to get past that line. Nicholas Reipel comes up with it. 73rd minute of play now, about 17 minutes to go. Brennan works it underneath, and I believe offsides is the call there. Sub coming here for Challenger Crew. Ball placed up ahead into the box. Goalkeeper right there for it. Alex Dudley, our goalkeeper for Challenger Crew. Appreciate all the help we're getting to get you that information. Dudley's done a great job in goal today against West Coast. Well, it doesn't quite have the drama right now that maybe some of our other matches have seen. A 3-0 lead for Challenger Crew. We have seen West Coast come back late in some games, but they are definitely running out of time in this one now. Our 15U Boys Championship is to follow this one, and it should be a good one. Tuzos Academy against Solar Chelsea Red. 1920U Girls Championship going on right now as well, along with the 18U Girls Championship. 9 o'clock will feature 16U Girls over on Field 8. We'll have a broadcast of that one for you on YouTube if you'd like to get some information on that one. Field 5 will be the 16U Girls, and the 15U Girls will be on Field 7. That one starts at about 10:30, so what they've kind of done here is start these championships today about every 20 minutes. Several subs now coming for West Coast. One last push here maybe for West Coast as they bring a couple of new players in, trailing 3-0. Tough look right now over at the West Coast bench. A lot of players showing their emotions. And again, they had two players ejected for the red card. And a lot of that action occurring in the first half. Challenger Crew not exactly celebrating just yet, though. They're fairly calm over on their bench. And now we've got some more jawing going on as everybody from West Coast jumped up off the bench as their player went down. Definitely some emotion being shown over there on the far side of the field right now. Strong kick from West Coast into the box as Stoop tried to get ahead on it, could not do so. Challenger Crew was there instead. Now in pursuit of this one is Hayden Parente. He's got a goal in this contest. It was deflected out off of West Coast. For the first time in a while, Challenger Crew works the ball over to our side of the field. We're now into the 78th minute of action here. Goal by Chris Brennan in the 57th minute on a penalty kick. He added one just a couple of minutes later in the 60th minute of play. And then his teammate Hayden Parente got in on the barrage. He scored in the 67th minute, making it a 3-0 contest. Subs here for West Coast. Spencer Madden is going to go out, and you kind of wonder if maybe the West Coast coach here is allowing some of these bench players just to get some game action in and potentially waving the white flag already. Eric Torres is in. Now the game is what it is, but again, it's basically drama-free at this point. West Coast putting a lot of their backup players out on the field. Let's see, this is match number 15 for us here over on Field 4, and we may have had one other one that was pretty well decided, but we've had a lot of games over here that have just been down to the wire, including yesterday's 17U contest in which the team out of Dallas defeated a team from Michigan in penalty kicks, 7-6 in penalty kicks. '80th minute of action, about 10 minutes to go now. Strong kick into the box. Header will miss left of the goal and head out of play. We will see Alex Dudley exit, the goalkeeper for Challenger Crew. Isaac Soto is the other goalkeeper listed. I did not have the numbers, but I'm assuming that's who that's going to be, as Soto coming in as they exchange a hug. Pretty cool opportunity here for Isaac Soto. His team up 3-0, and looks as if he's going to get to be in net for the final 10 minutes and be on the field when that final whistle sounds. Got a pretty big crowd on hand for this one as the 15U Boys Championship comes up next here on this field. Looks like we'll be on time, on schedule, slated for a 9 o'clock start. It also helps that in that 15U contest you have a team from Texas, so they have already lined up and found their spot. Most of them here fairly early, so they got to see, if not all the game, most of the second half. Abraham Ordaz will throw it in for West Coast. We're in the 82nd minute of action now. 3-0 the score. Challenger Crew leads West Coast. Challenger Crew doing what they can to run out the clock, and even when West Coast gets it, we have not seen much urgency from them. Now that's starting to happen just a little bit as Jacob Huber in goal. Send it forward. Looked like maybe a missed handball there from West Coast. Or I mean by Challenger. I'm not sure we've seen a handball called, and I think there's been a few. Again, just not a lot of urgency right now from West Coast. You wonder if maybe I'd have to go back and take a look at the box score, but if maybe Jared Andrews was in goal. There's another one that goes in, and that makes it 4-0 now. Could not quite see who that one was. I believe it may have been Parente again. Starting to get a whole lot of traffic in front of us here at our broadcast spot. I believe it was number 11, Parente. If so, that's his second goal. That one coming here in the 84th minute of play. Again, I'm not certain, but you wonder if maybe Andrews was in goal the first game when it was 5-0, and so maybe went with a different matchup. We saw Andrews in goal the last couple of games here on this field. Dominant performance today by Brennan and Parente and the rest of the Challenger Crew team. With about 5.5 minutes to play, another sub here for West Coast Haney. And a 4-0 contest, Challenger Crew on top. Goalkeeper Soto, who just came into the contest a few minutes ago, punches it over to Reipel. Really a tough spot to be in if you're West Coast. You want to keep doing what you can, want to keep trying, but it becomes pretty difficult when you trail 4-0 in these late moments. Was, however, a good tournament for West Coast. They're going to end up having their only 2 losses against this Challenger Crew team. 5-0 the very first day on Tuesday. They had a 3-0 win over OP Green, a 1-1 tie to Penn Fusion, and a 1-0 semifinal victory over Chicago Fire. The game that went to overtime with the goal in the 106th minute. Tripping call on Challenger Crew and a yellow card issued. I admit I don't know the rules well enough, but I do know that over the first 4 days I've seen plays just like that just result in a foul and not a yellow card. We're down to about 3.5 minutes to play now, 4-0. And the big difference was the 2 goals in the 57th minute and then the 60th minute. That allowed Challenger Crew to slow down the pace of the game, limit the opportunities for West Coast. They were able to add one just 7 minutes after that in the 67th minute. And the 4th goal came a little while ago in the 84th minute. Not that we're putting a wrap on this one just yet, but looking forward to the next matchup, the 15U contest, because we've got a big crowd off to our left from both sides. Torres over on the right side will try to work it up in front, fight for the loose ball, and it's going to end up with Patrick Strauss for Challenger Crew. Vincent Warner controlling. Warner, back pass, Tackle across by West Coast to knock it out. About 2 minutes remaining now at this point. 4-0, Challenger Crew leading. We're going to stay on schedule for the next contest. A little bit different than yesterday. We started about 45 minutes late for that second one. Challenger Crew finally showing a bit of excitement here with that 4-0 advantage, as Hayden Parente with 2 goals will exit. Sub. And Mazzola, I think, may have kicked it off of his teammate there. A shot that goes just left the post that time. And so we're down to less than 2 minutes here. About to hit the 90th minute of play, in fact. Challenger Crew up 4-0, can run this clock out now. A little bit of pressure coming from West Coast, but not much they will be able to do at this point. For Challenger Crew, they're going to remain undefeated, a 5-0 victory in the first preliminary contest against this West Coast Haney team. Then they play to a draw against Penn Fusion on Wednesday. Thursday, also playing to a 2-2 draw against OP Green. And they defeated FC United 2-1 in the semifinals. We were thinking there might have been a chance for 2 teams out of Chicago, about 30 minutes from each other, out of Illinois, to play each other in the finals. That turned out not to be the case. Have another yellow card issued. Lost track of how many of those have been issued at this point. Our clock showing 90 minutes, so we are just about there. We'll see how much longer the officials let it go. They, of course, have the official word, and that is it. Challenger Crew 4-0 victory over West Coast Haney to win the Paul Maguire Cup championship trophy. 57th minute goal by Chris Brennan proved to be the difference on a penalty kick. 3 minutes later, he added another one. In the 67th minute, Hayden Parente got in on the action, making it 3-0. And Parente scored again in the 84th minute to finish off West Coast Haney 4-0. So congratulations to Challenger Crew on winning the championship. West Coast Haney finishing as the runner-up. Again, the final score 4-0. This has been the 1920 U Boys Division Championship match. USYS Soccer National Championships from the Toyota Soccer Center in Frisco, Texas. I'm Michael Westbrook. So long, everybody.